Hey everyone, going to do a quick overview of a new game I got here, France 40. I actually forgot I had ordered this game, and while I was starting a vassal game of the Blitzkrieg Legend, received this in the mail, so kind of a good time for me to play it, kind of compare and contrast between that game and this game of the invasion of France in 1940. So it's a GMT games designed by Mark Simonich, who also designed one of my favorite games, Ardennes 44. So I've got a lot of expectations for this, and hopefully it can live up to it. So I think I'll do a kind of quick introduction to the game, show kind of an overview of the scenario we have for it, and if I feel up to it, we'll do a maybe a turn-by-turn update and see how I do for my first solo playthrough of this guy. So I hope you guys enjoy. Okay, so here we have the initial setup for the campaign game. This is the sickle cut scenario. The game does come with another map for an Operation Dynamo scenario for the BEF's retreat to Dunkirk. I haven't taken a look at that yet, but maybe I will in the future. While we're looking here, actually, we'll take a look at the turn track. Our game starts on May 13th and goes all the way to May 22nd, with the option to extend the game to the 26th of May. You'll see some reinforcements for the French here on the turn track. The rest of the reinforcements are handled by these yellow numbers here. So what that is the amount of reinforcements that the French get on that turn. So they're randomly drawn from a cup. There's our cup over there, which is abstracting the rest of France. And so you really don't know what you're getting, and it kind of simulates the, I guess, French command indecision and basically not knowing what the hell they were doing. We'll take a look at the initial setups here. We'll work from the north and work our way down. So starting up north here, we've got 4th Panzer and 3rd Panzer pushing their way towards the Dial line, which is under construction at the moment by the French. So on their first turn, they can flip those counters over to the constructed side, which will give them a fort, which will help in defense, shifts combat 1 to the left for them. Namur here is surrounded by Belgian forts, so helpful in combat there, I guess. Looks like a tough nut to crack. We come right here to Dinant, where we've got Mr. Rommel there with the star. So there's a few special units in this game. Rommel, Montgomery, and de Gaulle. Rommel and Montgomery are able to reroll some die rolls in certain situations. Can't remember off the top of my head right now. So they could be a very powerful unit. We come to the center here. We've got 6th Panzer pushing their way through the Ardennes still. And now we've got Guderian here at Sedan, just to the west of the Maginot Line, where the French have some fairly strong units, so we'll want to funnel them out of there and try and block the path to the west for the Germans. And yeah, lots of open space for some panzers to have some fun in, so we'll get started and see how I do. Okay, so before I get started, I kind of want to go over one of my favorite little rules from this game. That rule is zone of control bonds, which I haven't seen in really any other games that I've played. I'm sure there's some that have it, but I really like it from this and Ardennes 44. So units in this game have a zone of control and the 6 hexes surrounding them, but what they can also do is create a zone of control bond with units nearby. So if this infantry unit can trace a line to this infantry unit with only 1 hex interceding or along a hex side, then it means that this hex becomes prohibited for entry to the enemy unit. So what that mean here at Sedan is that the Germans can't just jump across the river and attack this unit. they're going to have to fight over that river to get across. So it just kind of adds an extra layer onto the game, and it seems fairly realistic to me. And it means you don't have to dot every single hex along this front line with a unit. So keeps the counter density low and adds an extra layer strategy onto this. So I really enjoy that rule. Alright, so here's the situation halfway through turn 3. Just finished up with the Germans. So far this game's reminded me a lot of Ardennes 44, especially for playing the French. Just feel like you're not going to have enough to cover up the gaps, and the Germans are just going to go steaming through, but he just managed to figure it out and cover those gaps for one more turn, but it does feel like they're going to be opening up even more soon as we head into the clear terrain here. We'll take a look up north where it's been pretty slow going. There were some strong French tanks up here that were kind of preventing me from attacking the dial line. So made a few attempts at that, finally disrupted them. We'll see what happens up there. Rommel's been fairly successful here. The French did attempt a counterattack with their heavy tanks, which will give them an armor shift even if German armor is present. Ended up being an exchange, which 5th Panzer had to take. But the French had to take it on their tank as well. So they were pushed back in the next turn. Just slowly pushing through the Ardennes here, nearly out. Some reinforcements coming through to exploit the holes we're creating here. Been busy down here near Sedan. Going well. 10th Panzer's taking a beating for exchanges and all that, but they're doling it out just as much. The dead pile here, it's only 3 full units, but the French have taken a lot of step losses. Reinforcements this turn too aren't going to be too helpful because they all have to come in through the north, where we're not really too much in need of troops. Down here is where the real worry is, so try and fill in some gaps on this turn and hope we can survive. Very fun so far.